Right, so welcome to another one of my guides. This is done on EURO. I'm Windsor, leader of the Bad Omen Guild, and I will be doing Island of Bios today on my Royal Guard. Quick review about gear and all that. You can see my build. Right, I mean this is a bit unnecessary, it's not really needed, but I don't have anything else right now to put in here, so one of the few essential things that you were gonna want to bring is the Silversmith Bracelet for Reaper Yanku. If you have a Deviling Backpack, great. If you don't, it's still doable probably. As I said, it's a level 160 instance, but so basically everyone knows where this place is, right? And then you will go, I'm just gonna do it like this. Here, show you how to actually get there. Now, to be able to access it, you actually need to do a quest, which is in the fire basin. I'll probably make like a guide or something about that later. There's two instances, no sorry, three. There's Isle of Bios, there's Morse's Cave, and there's Temple of the Demon God. The first two are soloable, the third one, I mean even with extreme god gears, no. Right, okay, so you talk to Tamarin here, you go enter. The potential reward from this is a Price of Hero cache, which is... oh god, actually, I fucked this up a little bit. I'm gonna have to backtrack. Fuck. Right, okay, I'm a bit of a muppet here, so we're just gonna... my apologies about this. I'm too lazy to cut this out, so you're just gonna have to see me do this. I basically forgot to like get Mastellas, so... no, that will actually give you a way how to actually get through the entire place, I suppose. Anyways, having said that, so the Price of Hero, you get one from Isle of Bios, and you will get two from Morse's Cave. Isle of Bios is a lot easier than Morse's Cave though, so I would suggest starting off with that. Both have the same rewards, except you get twice as many chances from Isle of Bios. Sorry, from Morse's Cave, my mistake. So you do it this. Alright. Let's make sure I have everything. Right. I'm actually using a resistant like a Hodrimnim because there's a lot of different sizes and all that nonsense in the Isle of Bios. You're gonna need a few more Yggdrasil seeds. I prefer using them over Ygg berries because they're cheaper. Alright, I'll bring a few Almighties. And I'm also gonna be bringing, like, you actually want some way to enchant your weapon with fire if you don't already have it, so like a Leo Crown is a really good way to do this. Unless you have converters, but Leo Crown is actually still better. Right, okay, so I have everything that I need now. Yep, I have Siegfrieds as well. Right, okay. So the way to get there would basically be go through Eden Group. Apologies for the snow and the Christmas thing. This is done in December on EURO, so there's a Christmas event thing going on. Which is alright, I suppose. There's some, like a Christmas wreath thing that you can wear with like a costume or whatever. Talk to little cat. The reason I'm not doing this on a GX is because all my other videos have been on a GX, and I feel like people might actually want to be able to see other classes do instances other than a GX, so figured I'd show my Royal Guard, which fair enough, I'm a bit more geared than a lot of people, but they're still absurdly tanky and do so much damage even with semi-decent gear. So I feel like they're pretty decent for soloing shit as well. Like Old Glass Time, Face Worm Nest, Bios, Hazy Forest obviously. Jitterbug is a breeze. You can do Morse's Cave on a Royal Guard, it's a little bit slower than with the GX, as with most things. Right, okay, we'll queue up, click the yellow seed, create memory dungeon, memorial even. Right, my gear, Bear Power boots, like Bear Power is probably the go-to enchant for Royal Guards, it's so good. The damage boost is insane because we live through high attack damage. So between that and inspiration and shield spell, you can just get absurd amounts of damage. Really, it's very notable, to be very honest. Right. Oh yeah, I got an MCA earlier as well. I'm saving them for Saturday for when I'm open. Like I open all my stuff every Saturday, like all my Price of Heroes, all my MCAs, all my OCAs. if you have requests regarding videos that you want me to make, or guides, or generally anything like that, just post it in the channel when I'm online or something, and I'll probably do it. This hasn't actually been requested like the other stuff. I just figured I'd continue with my little crusade of tutoring. Right, enter idle BIOS. Now, the thing to note about this instance, and one of the reasons why a lot of people get a little bit pissy with it, is that you need to kill all the mobs to be able to get somewhere. Like, you can't continue. So shield spell boosted me with 120 attack. Alright. So I'll be showing you the route that I take. So when you start, you go to the right. I just need prestige. Alright. As I was saying, right, so you need to kill every single mob. Now the system will alert you if you're missing one or two before you continue when you're at the end, right? So it's important to just check everywhere. I mean, I've done it so many times so I know exactly where all the mobs are, but for people who haven't, the XP is decent too, and make sure to try to loot, because the regular mobs, they can drop Ugg berries, and they can drop yellow gemstones too, but who cares about yellow gemstones anyway? But yeah, Ugg berries is the most notable. They also drop dead branches, and they can drop Mastella fruits. And, right, okay. So I got stuck now, so just like my hunter fly. Let's see if we can get the bear to proc, and I'll show you the damage difference. Like, so I'm doing this overbrand spam. Yeah, you see the damage is. Right. See, I eliminate all the enemies on the island next to it. Okay, right. So I'm basically systematically going through the island from right to left. So this is where we started, and now we're going to the left here. I mean, you'll get the gist of it once you've done it. The reason I'm using Almighties is basically because it makes the run so much smoother. And they're really cheap. I got my hands on like hundreds of them for like 3.5 or 4 million each, so whatever. Right, so you go up here. You can use Endure, like if you're in RK. Now as an RG, you want to bounce them into the wall, so this instance is actually amazing for this, right? Look, the damage I'm dealing with the wall bang, as I call it, plus the beer power is just, it's absurd. And yes, that skill is now referred to as the wall bang. Because you get the third hit when you wall bang them, more or less. Otherwise you only get 2. Right. So I'm switching between Peko Hairband and Rideward Hat for this instance. On the boss I'll just be running Rideward Hat because he has 50 million health. So I don't want to risk going on him out of SP even. The bats is only in the first half of the instance. So for the second half we'll be able to. And you get stuck if there's too many mobs. Right. Positioning is key for this. Like they will bounce from where you stand. So if you do this properly, there's so many walls here that you should not have any problems whatsoever. Now, if you fail at it, however, they will just fly all over the place, and it will just make the run take even longer. I mean, you could take this down one at a time, but it will take so long, and I see no real reason to do so. They're fairly easy to mob, at least the second half of the instance. The first half is with the bats, and they're faster than everything else. But as you can see, when there's no bats, you know, life is pretty easy. See, the bats, I think the bats are like 20-30% faster than the rest. So at some point you'll just end up, you're just gonna have to stop, because if you even like leave one mob behind, you're going to have to backtrack and find it, and it's just such a time sink. And the annoyance factor as well. Right? Okay, so do like this. Right. But yeah, as I said, I'm running Hodremlin here. I suppose Gargantua or like Orc Warrior or whatever it is might be decent as well. For the last part of the instance you can use against undeads, and obviously against bosses for the... But the thing is, the boss itself, as long as you spell break him and wear an evil armor, you're fine. He doesn't really do that much damage. So it's more about not being in this little spell thing when it goes off. Alright, okay. Okay, we're soon done with the first half of the instance. I mean, as you can see, I've done this a few times, so I mean, I know exactly where I'm going. But just try to pay attention what I'm doing, because you don't want to miss a mob or two. Like I did this in the beginning when I weren't used to this dungeon, and it was just so frustrating because I ended up having to run. See, now it says 10 monsters remain on the island. Now the thing that it notes is it'll only count in like 5s here, so it'll be 10, 5, and 1. So here we have 4, and there's gonna be 1 in front of us, and then it's gonna be 5 from the bridge and up. Okay, you see 1. So now we have 5 behind us. 6. I might actually fuck this up. 7, 8, and 9. Right, okay. There's a possibility that I just killed 1 more than the thing it counted. This is a little bit tricky. But yeah, basically, so you run. This is the end of phase 1 in this instance, and you need to kill. Now it says 5, which I'm pretty sure is not accurate. Actually, this is good. This will show you exactly what I mean. Right, okay, so there's 1 last monster remaining. Which means I've left something somewhere or forgot to check somewhere. And it will not... Okay, right, okay. Huh. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, you want to avoid that happening now. Right, so when you've eliminated all the enemies, a portal will appear here at the end. You go in. You go to phase 2 of the dungeon. Rebuff. I'm using evil armor for this, by the way. It doesn't matter too much for this first part, but it's just since you're gonna wear evil later anyway, might as well. As you can see, this used to be baby desert wolves and orc babies. They're not grown. They do more damage, but there are no bats. So everything is going to be walking the same speed, which is pretty nice. Unless you fail, like I just didn't get caught. Now, as an RG, you do not have the continuous life steal of a rolling cutter GX, so you don't want to overdo this too much. Like with the GX, I'll gather the entire part of this part, like the entire second phase of the instance. I will not be doing that on the RG though, because they will one-shot me eventually, and it's just not worth it. So I'll stop in the next corner probably. My driver won't stop there right now. That's amazing. Right, just make sure you don't leave any behind, like I did before. Because if you do that, then, well, as you saw, I had to run back, and it's nonsense. Now this is a great spot to be doing this with, because it's a very tight area. As you can see, I'm taking a lot of damage, but between the Hunterfly and the Bloodsucker and the Right Word, they die pretty easily. So, alright, hang on, need to rebuff. See, 346, 476. So, this, and we go resistant. There you go, that's a Hodremlin. There should be 1 more mob here. Now this is where experience comes into play. Like, there should be a Fen. Unless I brought it. Did I? I don't think I did. Well, I guess we'll just see later on. Because they come in packs of 2. And right now I have an uneven number, which means that somewhere there's a Fen lurking that shouldn't be there. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I killed it when I killed the other pack. Which I mean, I understand the irony when I said I know this instance. But I do, really, but... You know, no one is perfect, I guess. Right. There's a lot of running and turning. I mean, you don't have to flip your camera like I'm doing, it's just habits. Since back when I played for a very long time. It's just the way that I do things, I guess. Right, another good spot for mobbing is coming up. Here. The way to use Overbrand is basically put it 1 cell in front of you and imagine a cross on the ground from that going out. Like in a cross. I was gonna say cross direction, but no, cross shape. Right, you go up here, there's 1. I've never actually counted how many mobs is on each island. I can do that next time, I guess. As you've probably noticed, part 1 and part 2 are identical aside from the mobs being bigger and no bats. So, once you learn the layout of the map, it's pretty easy. As I remember, they can drop Ugs, so Okay, we're reaching a point now where as soon as I get up a little bit more, I'm gonna stop and kill them. Because I don't want to get one-shot, I really don't. Because remember with mob mental... Oh god, crap, right. So yeah, basically just take advantage of the walls here. Yeah, they have quite a bit of health here, so I mean... And their armor is pretty high too, but... I mean, unless you have a Samurai Spectre card, which I highly doubt most of you will. And even then, they're still pretty tanky. So you basically pull all these mobs. Now, I've done this instance as a genetic, as an RG, a GX, and I will attempt it as a ranger. So we'll see, once I have my proper ranger gear set up. Which will be like an out of our arrow storm. Oh god. Like, it's so easy to get caught here because once you get hit once, they'll stop you and then everything else will hit you and then you'll be stuck. And it just really sucks. Okay, there's another good spot coming up for AoE. And apparently we're AoEing now. Right. So this is like basically I got stuck and this is what happens. Instead of just trying to run, because you won't be able to. So better just try and kill them if you get stuck. I mean, you should try not to, but if you do, like I just did, then just kill them instead. It's a lot better. Because otherwise you just stand there and you get frustrated, and it's just better just kill the pack and move on to the next one. Right, we're going towards the end and soon it's boss time. I've been here since, let's see, 3:18, so I'm going on like 12-13 minutes now to reach the boss. On my GX I can do it in about 10. Now I fucked this up a little bit, so I could probably do it in maybe 11 on an RG. So granted they're not as fast as a GX, but very few classes are. Also the fact that my GX is more geared than my RG. Right, okay, so we've killed everything. Again, portal spawns, and we go to the boss. Right, it's gonna be a little bit of a cinematic, like these two were with you in the instance, Scythe and Vride. Alright, and there's the Reaper Yanko, who is the boss. He's going to be spawning here with his minions. It's a little bit of an RP event. Not long though, so don't AFK or anything, because you will die. Now at this point you can put on like a Requiem shield, if you have one. Like a Requiem. Right. There we go, Reaper Yanko. Now this dude has 50 million health. Right. And he's weak to fire, because he's an undead. I suppose he would be weak to holy as well. Now here's the waves. That spawns like 3 times 3. Sorry, 3 times 4. So it's like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Right. And there's 3 different waves. First these, then Verits, and then Megalodons. Right, he will freeze you, and he's gonna talk about how his minions will kill you, and blah de blah de blah. Here we go. Yeah. Now these mobs are alive. So what you want to do is... Now, what I do is basically... Yeah. Don't attempt this unless you know what you're doing, because they do hurt a lot. And these aren't even the worst ones. The worst ones are like the second and the third ones. There we go. Was that an Igberry? Yeah, that was an Igberry. Sweet. Right. Next wave. Right. Now you can take these separately, you don't have to kill them like I am, but I'm doing this for speed really. I have used a fire converter, I will say that, but as you can see my health, they're really chunking me. when they all reach me once. And the beer power just again saved the day. It's just amazing, I can't stress this enough. Right, here comes the third wave. Now these ones are really dangerous. I'm not sure, or I suppose I will take all of them. Normally I will only take like half, or maybe like 70%. Because they do some form of like attack, magic attack, and it hurts like a fucking truck. So I'm actually gonna miss Stella here, because I'm not sure I will survive otherwise. Oh, another big bear, sweet. Okay. Alright, so you kill them, and then I'm gonna proc my Theo crown. And I'm trying to spell break this guy just like we do on the... Oh god, and I'm stuck! Oh, that is some grade A bullshit. Right. Okay. You actually want to switch out your deviling here as well, because you'll just take even more damage with it on. There we go. He's gonna start casting his spell again. Like, I've chunked him pretty well. I'm using inspiration for this, so... My spear is only 8+ as well, and I'm not even using a wak wak thingy, so... Like, if he starts casting again, I'm just gonna... Alright, inspiration's off. We took him down to... Okay, let's hear. We'll do like this. Just like with the face worm, right? Now, if this spell goes off, which it might actually... I'm gonna get hit. No? Okay. Right. Well, the thing is, if it like breaks it, it takes 999k damage, just like the face worm. And interrupt him, and he's just gonna stand there for about like 8 to 9 seconds and look like an idiot. So it's free damage, basically. Oh, my apologies. I'm fairly tired. Right, see if I can wrap this up. So this is basically the fight. It's pretty straightforward. When he casts, interrupt him or run away, whichever. I mean, preferably interrupt because it does damage. But if you don't have a spellbreaker with you, or you just don't want to, you can just run off, it's fine. Fire or holy element to kill him. Yeah, these 50 million health is though, like... For some reason he has this background noise where it sounds like he's, I'm not even sure, it's like the orcs or whatever, I don't know. It's odd, to say the least. I might be able to use inspiration again before the fight is over, potentially. Yep. See if I can spell break him at least once before he dies. Okay. Apparently not. Oh. You guys get the idea anyway, so it's okay. Your crown. Yeah, your fingers will wear out doing this. It's the same thing with like rolling cutter, so auto attack builds would be a lot more, how do you put this? Convenient. Oh shit, I ran him, sorry about that. Seriously? Wow. Yeah, okay, otherwise that happens. I mean, it's not a death sentence for an RG, but on my GX, for example... I'm switching back to tobaccos now, because screw this. Let's do this as well. Right, okay, you didn't see me successfully spell break him even once, but that's basically the idea anyway. So I'm just a little bit unlucky with that, but he should be dead any second. He will drop a guaranteed price of hero 1, which is a random loot chest thing. You click it and it can have any form of hero gear in it, like hero trade mail, hero plate, hero hidden cloth and so on. And you can also have all the shoes, but most likely it's going to have garbage like condensed white potions or one fucking Mastella fruit, or there we go, price of hero. You kill him, right? They also award you with some EXP, and this guy here, Vrid, he will give you a token of hero. 30 tokens of hero you can exchange for a ring that you later can enchant, which I am in for like hundreds of coins so far enough still to get a decent ring, so you'll need to like buy, I have 3 rings I believe, but I keep trying to enchant one of them, so there's some RP here. Ready to accept it, you speak to him, and you get teleported out. So, that is the Isle of Bios. Next to it is Morse's Cave, that'll be another guy though. But like, subscribe, follow, donate, whatever you want to do, I'm grateful for anything really. Again, if you have requests, just let me know. I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed it, as much as I did anyway. Thank you for watching, and until next time.